Lovely to see that there's tidal interaction. The water that was here this morning drained out with low tide. So let's go. Water streaming, rushing out to the ocean. And then I giggle at the people that don't realize that I do the voiceovers back at home in the middle of the night when there's no outside sound influence. Yes, here and there I miss to bring the voice of a clip that I shot down, the volume down, the background wind noise. I miss it to bring it down. I'm only human. But people enjoy the clips. Don't try and teach me to do my work. I've been doing video photography and still photography for many years. I do the best I can with the equipment I've got under the conditions, prevailing conditions. There's nobody out there doing what I'm doing. So please don't try and teach me how to do it. I know what I'm doing. The wash is going directly north, sharp north. And I think it's mainly because of the high tide pushing, the storm at the ocean pushing the exit flow of the water close, to stay close to the shore. But the side wash is all the way past Ingwe Beach. What's interesting in this clip is the channel that's been dug through this mud bank. Remember, this is low tide, spring low tide. And this is the channels that's been dug by scouring effect through the mud bank. That's the Mfolozi channels coming in there. That on the other side of the mud bank is one of the channels. And this one is the fastest flowing one. And that's just the micro channels in the mud bank towards the ski boat club. How deep do I think this water is? Let's just look at the volume of the flow rate here. Then we can think that it's more than a meter deep. I cannot guess how deep it is. I'm not going to get in there with a yardstick. The wind I couldn't get to focus, but that is rainwater from the flowing out of the Mfolozi channel. The bottleneck plug has still not been popped. If we look at all the water that's catch on the western side of the plug, it's bottleneck has still not been popped. This clip I want to show you how deep the trench is dug on low tide, but more the wind. Look at the wind over that dune. Look at the wind going over this dune. This is 40 knots, 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. Anyway, the water is draining nicely in low tide, digging deep. I just can't keep my eyes off that sand blowing over the dune. It's very unpleasant because it blows to a height that it blows right into your face. Anyway, here we're panning down towards the ocean. On low tide the ocean was just as rough. The Mfolozi river water, the water exiting the estuary mouth goes straight north, sharp north. Here we're looking at the channel that is dug through the mud bank. Look at the monopod vibrating in the wind. This is actually the monopod dug into the sand with my body weight on top of it, trying to hold it down, vibrating in the wind. Anyway, we're looking at the water, at the rainwater that fell on the system exiting the estuary mouth. So it's cleaner than the muddy water coming down with the rivers, especially the muddy water coming down with the Mfolozi river, which is a very high energy river when in flood, bringing down heavy sedimental deposits. beautiful as birds fly and play in the wind. I didn't find it fun, but anyway, that's the scouring effect of the water draining out of the estuary. In this morning video, you could see on high tide the ocean water wasn't strong enough to push in against the flood waters exiting the estuary mouth. That's the Mfolozi channels. You can see it's clean water coming down there. That is rainwater that was trapped in the system. Shot of the mud banks at the estuary mouth. The camera is vibrating. It's on the monopod. This is the monopod vibrating in the wind, like a string or a rope on a flagpole. The mist layer, is actually sand blowing in the wind. And it's roughly between 5 and 6 feet off the ground. 1.5 to 1.7 meters.